How's it going, everybody? I hope you're doing well. The house is clean, the crock pot's full, the chairs are stacked, the supplies are gathered, so we're pretty much set and ready to go for tomorrow's ceremony. In these last few hours before we gather, it's not uncommon to feel ceremony reaching out, pulling us towards it. You know, we'll gather together as a group and we'll hold space for one another, but the work that we'll do is our own. We like to think of it as the life raft method, where we're all in this together. I'm not doing your work, you're not doing mine, but we'll hold hands and we'll witness each other, because ultimately we are all in this together. One of the things that I really like the most about ceremony is the chance to sit with my intention. And I've been doing that for about the last week now. And in the process of that, it gives us a chance to come to terms with a few things. First of all, we get to come face to face with whether or not we love those wounded parts of ourselves deeply enough to walk forward into our pain, through all our shame, our anger, our guilt, all those wounds and behavior patterns under which those wounded parts of us are buried, hiding like lost children in the dark. And we get to see whether or not we have enough courage and enough strength to walk into all of that, to take those wounded children, those lost children by the hand, and to walk with them out into the light. And that ultimately means asking ourselves one question: which would we rather? To live well or to die sick? It's important to ask that question because whichever the result, it will be determined by our actions and by our willingness to do our work. Second of all, we get to come to terms with whether or not our faith is strong enough to carry us, even when it feels like we're standing there on our own. Sometimes in this work, we're not aware of just how strong we really are, nor will we ever be aware of that strength unless we're called upon to use it. And other times, we claim strength, we claim power that isn't really there. And it's brittle, and it's arrogant, and it shatters at the first sign of difficulty. Whichever the case, we'll have a clear perspective based upon how we react in moments of being tested. And the third thing we get to ask ourselves or determine about ourselves is whether or not we care deeply enough about all our relations to walk step by step into our work as it's parceled out, and to allow the benefits of that to flow to all. We hear that phrase, "for all my relations," or "we are all related," or some similar variation of that phrase quite a bit in certain circles. And sometimes people might not have an idea of really what that means. So my own work, my own experience has taught me that it means this: the two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, the winged, the finned, the many-legged, the no-legged, the tree people, the stone people, all peoples, seen and unseen, known and unknown, that have lived, are alive now, or will ever live. That's who we carry on our backs when we enter ceremony with good and right intention and with full willingness to face what we're asked to face. And it's important to remember that that includes us as well. I spoke briefly in a previous podcast about the Pirkei Avot. It's a collection of theological and ethical teachings and maxims in the Jewish rabbinic tradition. One of the things that it tells us is that it is not our duty to finish the work, but neither are we at liberty to neglect it. And so that's the thing. Can we be content with whatever our part is, with walking step by step into the work simply as it's parceled out, and doing what's placed before us, so that we ourselves and those who come after us can build upon it, knowing, keeping in our hearts the feeling that brick by brick and stone by stone, the temple gets built. Until next time.